It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. For the second time in as many days, a champion will be crowned in college basketball. Florida and Houston will clash in the men's national championship game tonight, one night after a dominating performance by the Connecticut women's basketball team over South Carolina in winning a 12th title under coach Gino Auriemma. Gators a 1.5-point favorite for ESPN Bet. A monumental extension for Blue Jays star first baseman Vladdy Guerrero Jr., 14 years, $500 million, third largest contract in Major League Baseball history, trailing only Juan Soto's with the Mets and Shohei Ohtani's with the Dodgers. Nuggets hoping point guard Jamal Murray will be back for the start of the NBA playoffs, has missed the last 5 games with a strained right hamstring. Denver's 4th in the West, only a half game ahead of 8th place Memphis. The Nuggets' next game is Wednesday at Sacramento.
Hey, everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments. It doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
We cover all the SEC schools, including Western Union and Venmo. You know, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in. Why am I so close? Why am I so close over on the stream? I've already distracted myself. You love yourself. Welcome in to another week of the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. 2 hours straight of sports talk as we get into all of the action that happened over the weekend. And Joe, it doesn't just go to the national level. We're not only just talking about the March Madness and it coming to an end tonight on our airways, but also some more local news in the form of Huntsville Havoc, because we do now have a schedule for them as they head into the playoffs. And Joe, I know you're very happy for that because when it comes down to scheduling, we kind of need to know dates. Yeah, we kind of need to know the dates so we can move forward and make sure we bring it all to you guys.
We don't just need to know dates. We needed to know locations. That was the important. We needed to know locations, and we have got that. And so I actually was thinking about this earlier today because this week my wife asked me. She asked me at the beginning of every single month.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you have planned this month? Like, what all do you know that you have? And so we have a calendar that's like up on the refrigerator. It's one of those wipeable things. And so we put that and we go through that the entire time. So I'm just like, okay, look, we have this and I have this, and then I have this, and then I have this. The problem is that then with this or with this week and this month, I kept saying, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is because, you know, Steve and I have been doing every one of the Havoc games this season. You have one or two games where it would be just myself.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a couple of games where it would just be Steve in the very beginning. You went down to Birmingham with me as well for the game against the Bulls. So, we've been doing every single game, but we got to have like a plan for this week, because this week is kind of unique for me, mainly because my daughter's birthday is on Saturday. She turns 2.
The big 2. That's a big one, Joe. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna celebrate? Are you gonna get her a car?
We're going skydiving. Actually, we're going skydiving for her second birthday.
Dude.
It is going to be extremely memorable for me. She's not going to remember a thing of it. But yeah, we're going skydiving.
Is that even allowed to throw?
No, that's child abuse.
Abuse?
That is child abuse. Okay, abuse.
You're having a tough time.
Child abuse. Look, I am in such a weird mood today. I've already been like talking with people, and I'm just like, look, I am not in the best mood. Like, I'm just, head's not there. I don't know if it's because it's dreary outside. I don't know what.
Well, that definitely could be the case, because I feel like it's been overcast for the last 3 weeks. But no, now you get to talk with me, Joe. So that means your mood's gonna get better and better. I'm like Tanjiro.
And I'm always transparent about mental health and all that sort of stuff. I kind of have like the vibe like a depression's coming on, so I'm trying to like fight it at that same time. I don't know how to.
Well, like a national depression or just a Joe depression?
No, just a Joe depression. Like it's something that there's nothing that triggers it. Like you can just feel them coming on. It's really kind of strange on that.
Well, I wonder if some of it comes from the amount of sports that we get, because and I know not everything's about sports, Joe, but big part of it,
especially in my life.
Me and you, really a big part of it does come down to the sports that we watch and having a game almost every single day, and then it all kind of disappearing.
And that's what's going to happen at the end of the month.
Yeah,
like, it is, regardless as to what happens with the Havoc.
Yeah.
Okay, because the Havoc can play for the remainder of this month. And they could win the President's Cup, and we're all celebrating, and everything's going to be amazing. It's still going to end before the month of May.
Yeah.
Then the month of May for me is about to be even weirder, because we are going to add another mouth in the house, because my second daughter, third child, is going to be born. It is now within like 3 weeks of her potentially being born. And so there's a lot of planning that is going ahead. This weekend, we did everything from cleaning out the houses and cleaning out the attic and getting baby clothes down and going through it, figuring out what needed to be washed and what didn't need to be washed. My wife suckered me into cleaning a garage by saying this: hey, look, I know that all this brand new baby stuff is kind of taking up the gym that we have built in there. And I know you've been wanting to work out.
Hashtag baby gym.
Yeah. And so I'm like, she goes, so let's go ahead and just get everything up in the attic that needs to be there so it can be clean. There are not more things in the garage around the gym than there was yesterday morning at 7 a.m. when we started this process.
Well, it's the opposite of what's happening downtown, where it's the destruction leads to growth. For you, it's the growth of clutter is going to lead to the cleanup and it looking really nice.
And so this weekend, I'd already told UAH, because the UAH baseball team is playing Mississippi College this weekend. Nice. I'd already told them, hey, Saturday, I'm unavailable. Like all I'm asking for is Saturday. I'm available Friday. I'm available Sunday. We're good there. So, John, you're going to be doing the baseball game on Saturday. Don't need to say anything controversial. I'll get to that in a little bit.
Did you say something controversial?
No, I said a team's pitching staff was bad.
Oh, see that's enough to get some eyebrows raised.
It did.
Some hairs.
And so Saturday for myself was supposed to be a day of like just focusing on her birthday, the birthday party that we're having, every bit of that. Now, if Evansville and Huntsville go to a game 3, that is going to be Saturday night at 7:30 at the Iceplex.
Nice.
And so Moulton and I have already said, look, we are 1,000% in for the games Wednesday night, because that's going to be at the Iceplex. Game 1, 7:30 puck drop. Tickets have already went on sale and sold out. I'm not 100% sure about Zambruski's, because Zambruski's is being turned into like a standing room only area. And so I'm going to find out all that information before the Havoc Hour tomorrow night, because I know a lot of people are going to be asking that question. But Friday night, the game is in Evansville. Game 1 is here. Game 3 is here. Game 2 is in Evansville. Well, again, baseball games, you do 2, 3, 4 shows sometimes in a day. And so we got to have to figure out the scheduling. That's all it is. And so, yes, this week it's don't know.
Well, it's better than I don't know. No, it is worse than last week because last week we at least knew what was going on and we were busy. This week it's more like, okay, we'll attend to the needs that are given to us from the sports teams around the area.
No, because obviously this is such a massive deal and the playoffs have started for the Havoc and it is going to be packed at the Iceplex. Obviously, for people that are curious, the games that are happening at the Iceplex because Disney on Ice has taken over the VBC. And I know a lot of people like throughout the SPHL, fan pages and the Huntsville Havoc fan cave and all that have been going, well, if Huntsville's playing on Wednesday and the Disney on Ice doesn't start until Thursday, why can't we do that? The reason is because have you ever been to Disney?
The Disney parks?
Yes, Disney parks.
Yes, I have been to Disney World, and it was a wonderful, wonderful week.
Exactly. That is what their goal is. Their goal is to basically transport you into an imaginary world where all your focus is and all the kids' focus is all on the show itself. That is what it's about.
Yeah.
To do that, they go over the top and making sure that every single thing is perfect.
My question is this: with all of the logos, the sponsors on the ice, do they paint over that?
No, they're actually going to replace it.
They're going to replace the ice again.
Yeah, but see, again, Disney. It's not like they're not hurting for money.
Yeah, no, they can do it.
So it's part of every bit of it is part of the deal. They make the ice thicker. They do a lot of things over it. So yeah, so the ice. If we get back to a series that is happening at the VBC, then it's going to be new ice once again.
Mind you, that takes like $10,000.
Yeah, it's $10,000 every single time.
It.
Yeah,
That's
and
insane.
so the other part with it is that they also take down the boards.
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of those where it's like a basketball game where when you go, it's like, oh look, this is also a hockey rink. You can see the hockey boards. No, they take every bit of that out. They cover up so much of the arena. They have seats that go like right up to the ice. Like it is when you go to this event over the weekend, and I know hundreds and I know thousands of people are going to be going to this because it sells out every single year and the tickets are astronomically high. And it's an amazing event.
I'm having deja vu right now. Why do I feel like Disney on Ice was here 2 years ago, and this is the exact same situation?
It's kind of like it is. They do a tour, and it's always around the exact same time. The rodeo happens around the same time.
Oh, I like the rodeo.
Monster trucks happen around the same time. It's kind of like part of the tour that we all just kind of know. It's like, all right, it's around this time frame.
Then the trucks are coming then.
Yes.
Monster trucks are getting close.
So I say all of that because this is not something that is just a 24-hour turnaround. The Disney basically takes over the VBC and transforms it into what they want it to be. That is the reason why the Havoc cannot play there on Wednesday night or Saturday, obviously, because the event's going on. So that's why the games get moved to the Iceplex. Now, here's what's cool about this. In a couple of years, when the Iceplex actually builds this brand new arena that they are going to be building, that ground is supposed to be breaking on that in about a month or so, then it's not just going to be 1,000 people or whatever that's going to be able to get into the Iceplex arena. It's going to be like 2,500. Like it is going to be an even bigger number that's going to be able to get in to be able to watch the playoffs if we're in this scenario, which seems to happen every single season. So there's a lot to it with Disney, and that is the part of this is they take over the arena. Honestly, I haven't driven by the VBC today, but I would almost guess that their trucks are already there. That is how extensive this is for them and everything that they are building for this. So there's a reason why this is the way that it is. They treat their ice show just like they treat their cruise, just like they treat their movies, just like they treat their parks. Don't do that look on it because I'm telling you, they spend millions and millions of dollars, especially on Marvel.
Well, they spend millions of dollars, but they don't always treat it nicely.
Well, it depends on the movie. And so they try to go above and beyond to make sure the experience is memorable because it may be your only trip there.
That is true.
So that is the reason why. And it's Disney, and it is always like that. And so it doesn't matter what it is, that's how they are. So they take over the arena, and they also pay very good money to take over the arena.
They very much do. It's all right, though. They might be taking over the arena. The Havoc might have to adjust their schedule, and who knows what's going to happen. But regardless of that, we will keep you guys up to date with all of the news in sports in the area, as well as nationally here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as the Blitz in a little bit more of a goofier and fun way. But regardless of that, you can join in the show, whether you want to call in at 256-576-97.7, or you can hop over onto our chat over on WZZN TV, where we got Austin already saying, good morning, guys.
Morning, guys.
Let's go Gators, as he's looking forward to tonight. I know he's pretty excited about it, as well as some of the Houston fans out here. But I think the one thing that we're not looking at, Joe, with this matchup,
there cannot be a Houston fan in Huntsville.
You know what? If there is one Houston fan listening, I would love for you to call it. It doesn't even matter if you're listening in Huntsville or you're listening in Houston. I want to know if there is a Houston fan listening to us, because we're planning on getting a Houston guest on this week, maybe tomorrow, depending on what happens tonight. But Joe, did you know that what we're looking at in the form of Kelvin Sampson being 69 years old, and who he faced off against yesterday in John Shire, who is 37 years old. There's a 32-year difference right there, and it doesn't change too much when it comes down to tonight with Todd Golden, because I believe Golden's only 2 years older than Shire, which means that whenever Kelvin Sampson was starting out his career way back in 87, I believe, and that means that we're looking at a Todd Golden probably in his diapers sucking his thumb, Joe. And now these two are going to be facing off against each other. How do you feel about that?
You want the truth?
I want the truth, 100% the truth. Only the truth.
I'm not going to watch a single second of tonight.
What? Joe!
No.
You're doing a disservice.
No.
Are you going to watch the highlights?
No.
How are you going to talk about it tomorrow?
Basketball is dumb.
You're just upset.
Dumb.
I forgot.
Yeah, I'm an Auburn fan. Do you think I should be watching this? Screw the tournament.
I do think you should be watching this, Joe.
It.
I think everybody should be watching this, whether they're an Alabama fan, whether they're an Auburn fan, whether they're a Kentucky fan. I think everybody should be sitting down and watching this matchup tonight.
Build up to WrestleMania, and dang it, I'm watching that instead. I don't care
my gosh,
bleeping thing about this game tonight, because you know why? Here's why. Okay, Florida beat Auburn. Not going to say it was because of any particular play like the last time Auburn was in the Final Four. They beat Auburn. They absolutely beat them.
It was a tipsy-turvy night last night, too.
Now, will I also tell you that, yes, that ball also went off of the left inside thigh of your player?
Oh, come on.
It did.
You can't say that.
It did. It did. There was a camera angle that showed it.
But it didn't move direction. It didn't show like it was bouncing off of his leg.
It literally touched his leg.
Oh, you can't say that.
Anyways, so screw Florida. All right. And again, I know we have Adam Dubbin coming up at 10:20. He and I already had this discussion last week. He knows exactly how I feel. All right. And screw Houston, because Houston's the one that the Titans have had to send the cease and assist because of all of the Oilers colors. So I hate that team too. I hate both of these teams, and not one of those like, oh, I wish they both could lose. This is going to be a spectacle. I can't wait. No, I literally hate both of the teams.
Wow.
I genuinely hate them.
You don't care at all about what's going to happen on the court.
Bit.
I could take away both of the colors of these teams, all right? And I could look at them like Team A and Team B, just knowing that they are the two best teams, okay? And I will say this tournament went down to the best teams. We couldn't have had anybody better playing in this Final Four, all right? To have teams leading at the beginning, Duke leading the way they were against Houston, Auburn coming out the way that they were against Florida, and then having it totally flip-flop in the second half.
Walter Clayton, man.
This made up for it coming down to none of the Cinderellas.
Well, no.
Houston winning against Duke was
know-
all of the madness that we need.
Do you know that if a Cinderella would have been in any of these games last night, or yesterday or Saturday, that they would have gotten beat by 20?
They would have got destroyed.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's screw the whole Cinderella thing. Like, I know I want good basketball. I want great basketball. And look, trust me, my son had never seen me act the way that I did Saturday night whenever we were watching that game. Not ever. Okay. Because we have our little 30-minute video game time that we do before bed every single time. And so normally there's no TV on, nothing. It's just he and I in the bedroom or in my office playing the game. My wife is getting our daughter to sleep. That is our quiet time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then that play happened. And again, that play did not cost Auburn the champion or opportunity to the championship. Do not want to say
the
anything.
championship, baby. It's the championship now.
And so I'm not blaming it whatsoever. Not saying this was like the double dribble. No way. But I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. That's the angle.
That's passion.
It's off his leg. And my son's looking at me going, Daddy, Mommy's trying to get baby sister to sleep. I'm like, baby sister would be screaming with me right now if she was here, son.
Yeah. She needs to get that adrenaline up for the skydiving she'll be doing.
Yeah, I'm like, I was yelling. I was so angry. And I mean, I turned the TV off, didn't even watch a second of Duke Houston. I was so pissed. And I'm just sitting there like, once again, get to the Final Four on the court. You had a big lead. You were just absolutely dominating the game. And then you lose it. And I'm like, screw basketball. Basketball is dumb. I'll feel that way probably until October.
Go back to your dang baseball.
Screw it. I was so angry.
No lie, having baseball is definitely going to save me.
Janai Broom out there basically playing with 1.5 arms. I mean, come on. I mean, truly. And then, no, because the reason I can't blame the ball off the butt cheek or the inside thigh on it is because Auburn's the one that had a guy want to shoot a 3-pointer, fake, not just dribbling, but also fake jumping, getting called for the travel, and then draining it after he got called for the travel. And I'm like, great, now you want to make the 3. After you get called for it, now you want to make the 3.
There was no thought in my mind thinking that ball would go in at the end for Auburn.
So no, screw this game. Screw everything about it.
We need to talk about it, though, Joe.
Yeah, and I'm going to say screw every bit of it.
Oh,
I am in that mood today. You know what? Maybe that's what caused the depression to come on. Maybe it was. Maybe it was following a basketball team for the entire year, getting down to the final 2 basketball games that they were going to play, and then losing it once again to Florida. Look, man, I've already seen the script, okay? I had to deal with this at UAH.
You thought it was scripted that Houston was able to win this game?
You lose to Nova at the beginning of the season. We lose to Nova at the end of the season. You lose to Florida back in February. You have an opportunity at redemption. You lose again. Look, I saw this. I saw this already. I don't want to see it again.
Joe, I'm going to have to reel you back in during the break. We got Dennis on the phone lines. We'll get to him as soon as we get back. This is the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV. We'll be right back.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deals store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Cecil, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farm, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Now is the time to sign up for the Eagle Installation WZZN Charity Golf Tournament to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. This year's event is the morning of April 21st at Cherokee Ridge, and each member of the winning team not only gets the championship belts, but a full-year membership to Cherokee Ridge. Breakfast and lunch are provided, plus tremendous prizes and a chance to win $100,000. Cost is $800 a team or $200 per individual, and corporate sponsorships are available. Send an email to 977WZZNevents@gmail.com to reserve your spot today.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Clouds are going to gradually decrease throughout the day. It looks like we'll see a little bit of sunshine before the sun sets for this Monday. High temperature is going to be warming into the upper 50s. It could get breezy at times. Heading into Monday night, expect to sit under a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures falling into the upper 30s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Let's rage. Here you are. You were gonna come to me. Here you are. But you better choose carefully.
All right, Joe. Are you good now?
No, basketball's still stupid.
Okay, but you're better. You're calmer right now.
No, I'm calmer now.
All right, that's good.
I mean, yes, I was calmer for it's been 2 or 3 minutes. I'm better now. I mean, all the things that I said were true.
That is true. Yeah,
and then I'm being honest about tonight as well.
You really should watch, though. I mean, I
screw
feel like
both those things. Screw both.
I feel like you should.
Screw both of them.
I mean,
I'd probably watch if it was Duke.
The Braves don't play tonight, do they?
No.
What else you got going on?
Told you. Road to WrestleMania. It's Monday Night Raw.
Oh.
It's that.
If I were gonna be somebody that just was like a buzzkill, I'd say we're talking about something that's real right now.
No.
In the form of basketball. This is the TV that you want to watch. This is the drama that you want to experience in any type of movie, any type of TV show that you watch. This is what you want to watch. And it's all real. That's the best part about it. And I think that we got plenty of that 2 nights ago as these teams, all 4 of these teams faced off in some great matchups. But we want to hear your guys' opinions as well. 256-576-97.7, as well as over on WZZN TV on our YouTube, as well as on X and Facebook, because we're everywhere, wherever you look. Make sure you follow all of those as well to keep up to date with all of 97.7 ESPN The Zone's offerings. But we head to the phone lines. We got Dennis on with us. Dennis, how you doing, man? Dennis.
Hello.
What's up, man?
How y'all doing? I'm doing good, Joe. Congrats on you and your wife having a third baby, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir. I definitely appreciate it, and trust me, never thought that I was going to be in these shoes, but here we are. So we are about to have some fun with this.
Good, you're a lucky guy.
Thank
Joe,
you, sir.
I got some big news for you, man. Ordered a great wrestling book that I ordered the other month, 2 months ago for Books a Million.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what autobiography I got? It's a great book, man. I haven't read all of it yet.
Yeah.
The Last of the Great Three by NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. Him and Ric Flair's last two standing. Dory Funk Jr.
Oh, really? What was the what's the name of it?
The Last of the Great Breed.
The last. Okay, gotcha. All right, because
It's a
I'm looking
paper-
that up now.
Yeah, yes, sir. I was going to ask you, Joe, did you ever get to meet Bill and Jamie Dundee?
No, I have not gotten to meet them. No, sir.
Yeah. I was going to let you know, back in the late 80s in Continental Wrestling and at the old Montgomery Civic Center, which is a former art center, Bill Dundee went all around the ring. He gave everybody a 5, like when wrestlers go around the ring, and all that. That's as close as I ever met him. He used to have a podcast with a guy that's from Melbourne, Australia. Neil Bartlett used to live in Jackson, Tennessee. Now last few years he's back in Melbourne now.
Yeah.
Him and Bill Dundee had a great podcast called Superstar Aussie Radio Show. They used to be on the old blogtalkradio.com network and all that. So, yeah, it's good, man. I think they have archive.
Never been able to do it. I'm actually going. I've got a wrestling event scheduled for the end of the month that I'm going to be doing though, and I don't know exactly who's on the lineup though.
Really? Is Jack Lord going to be there?
I don't know. I genuinely, I've been asked to MC it, and so I'm going to be doing that, but I do not know of the card as of right now.
Joe, I tell you what, Montgomery's still a black hole for pro wrestling, man. I'm not counting the WWE. I like to see A&W go to Garrett Coliseum one day, but the independents, it's like a black hole in Montgomery, man.
Well, and the reason being is because the lack of venues. I mean, and again, Garrett Coliseum itself, I don't know I haven't obviously kept up with what the Garrett Coliseum's been, what they're trying to do with it, but it's kind of hard to have an event, definitely in the summertime, for a venue that doesn't have air conditioning.
I know, man. It's frustrating. It's real frustrating for me. I'm an old school wrestling fan, but I want to ask you about a wrestler that wrestles in TNA. But I'm very old school about this. If I want to go to a concert and listen to someone sing, I would. But what do you think of Joe Hendry?
Oh, I know Joe Hendry's fun. I mean, seriously, he's just a fun guy. Like, I don't even care one bit about the in-ring ability or anything like that. I mean, but he is just such a fun character to kind of get behind.
Yeah, man, I tell you, man. I read about him. He's Scottish. He's from Scotland originally, and he is. It's unreal, man. I tell you. I'm gonna ask you about something. I'm more of an A&W fan now.
Yeah.
And what do you think's gone wrong with NWA with Billy Corgan? I like Billy Corgan. I want Billy to succeed, not fail. I want Tony Khan to succeed, not fail. You got to have a good competition. What's going on with TNA, man? They let Gail Kim go, and I just can't understand that. TNA hasn't been the same since Dixie Carter screwed up when she brought ATM Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan in, man.
Yeah, now that was, if you want to talk about decisions that were made that kind of messed up them, that was it. But the TNA brand, that's they kind of have that ECW deal going on right now with WWE, where it's like basically WWE's agreement with them is kind of keeping them going, in my opinion, because it's very similar to what happened with ECW back in the 90s. So I think that is it. The problem with AEW though is you have amazing talent. I mean, again, when we were here in Huntsville and all of us were going, I mean, Will Ospreay literally opened up the show. Like, I mean, you're talking about a guy that has sold out the Tokyo Dome, and
I know,
and he opened up the show. The storytelling in AEW definitely needs to be better. Not saying it's horrible, just saying that it does need to be better. It is something that is, if you're talking about it's linked there. The other thing is quite frankly, WWE has done what great businesses do. They have adapted. They have actually, instead of saying, what our competition is doing is not going to work and just letting it continue, what they did is they said, all right, well, we're going to adjust. Now they have the ID stuff that they're doing where they're getting more on the independent circuit, which is what AEW was doing. And with Billy Corgan, it is hey, look, we understand that we are a stepping stone gig right now. We are an internet show that barely is going to be able to be watched anywhere else unless you're watching on YouTube. And I think that they are understanding their place and they're not trying to do too much at the moment. But unfortunately, they are also going to be losing talent in their younger talent because WWE has made a lot of adjustments that have actually really began to work since somebody's not there anymore.
Thank God for Vince McMahon, the man that screwed up wrestling. He put the territories out of business, Joe. I know you're younger than me, but that was stupid, man. Vince McMahon, I tell you, man, I don't know what his thinking is. He didn't appreciate those school wrestlers. He destroyed the territories. That put a lot of wrestlers out of work. Well, the territories was a better system back then, in my opinion.
Well,
than it is
I
now.
think it has more about to do with the fact that he was trying to run a business, and what he was trying to do is grow his business. And for him, he saw the fact that staying in one city and being able to own a quote unquote territory wasn't going to be as beneficial as it was going to be if he was going to be able to move it out of that. So, I mean, even if he was only going to want to go to one territory like Minnesota, then he obviously would have been breaking the rules there. And so that was the reason why they pulled out of the NWA.
I know, man. And also the Vice channel. Do you ever watch Dark Side of the Ring?
No, I love that show. No, that's what I'm going to watch tonight, John. I'll watch that instead. Okay, I'll watch that instead of the basketball game.
Hey, I tell you, they got good shows. I'm picking Houston tonight, guys. I want y'all to have a good week. It's good talking to you, Joe. You take care of yourself. Sir.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. See, I'll watch that instead.
Well, he's picking Houston.
Yeah,
and I like that pick. I do like that pick. I don't know, Joe. I'm to the point where I have no idea who could win this thing. I think it's a coin flip tonight. And I know you might not be watching it, and that's totally understandable. You are a passionate fan for one of the many teams that you like.
I'm also a very bitter fan right now, okay? And that's part of it.
You have other teams, Joe.
It doesn't matter. I knew Tennessee was flawed. Like, I knew they were. Them winning, just like if we go back and we look at the Braves team of 2021, which made a run that nobody thought was going to be going, like, that was truly magical. Every single thing about it was magical. The amount of teams that they had to go through that were 100% better than they were was magical. Now, for that particular week when they were playing those teams, no, they were not better because Braves were on a hot streak, okay? And it's very similar to like what Florida is. So, like, if I go back and like the 95 Braves team, that 95 Braves team was 100%. It was world championship or bust. You had made it to the World Series in 91 and 92. You lost in 93 to the Phillies in the NLCS. 94 was taken away from you. And quite frankly, the Braves probably wouldn't have even made it to the playoffs in 94 because the Montreal Expos were amazing. But you get to 95 now, and you have this amazing team. You're already hated because Tom Glavine was the voice of the players union at that point in time. And he was the one that was speaking for all the other teams whenever they were having press conferences. You knew it was that or bust. If they would have lost to the Indians, it would have been a total tragedy. Okay. For me this year, that's how I felt about Auburn. Like, it was championship or bust. It wasn't SEC championship or bust. It wasn't Final Four or bust. It was championship or bust. You had arguably the best player in the country. I know that Cooper Flagg won the awards, but you had arguably the best player in the country on your team. You had a tremendous support staff around him. And I say support staff because he was the star. Where times, again, we talked about it with numerous people that were coming on. He didn't even have to do things in some games. Like, there'd be some games he'll only score 8 or 9 points, and that was fine. You were letting him rest. You were letting him get to the playoffs. It was good. I mean, him healthy didn't change the outcome of this game. Like him not being healthy, that isn't the reason that Auburn lost this game.
Well, I don't even think it wouldn't have been close at all. I don't think if Jonai Broom wasn't in this game.
Oh, no.
Then it would have been a totally different game.
Matter of fact, even if we go back and pull what we talked with Adam Dubbin about last week before he comes on, I said my pick right now, based on the health of Janai Broom, if you're asking me today, I pick Florida to win. Okay. It's just like picking, say, the Braves to go to the NLCS and lose. It doesn't mean that, okay, hey, your pick was right. But at the same time, yeah, but I also still had to travel down this road and I had to get emotionally attached and I had to start liking these guys and all this. Dude, look, if the Havoc lose at some point in time, do you realize how angry and sad and depressed I'm going to be? This was my first season with the team. I've literally got to know every single one of those guys on a personal level. And I've sat here and I've watched them at times be the best team in the SPHL. Now, was that the case probably 2 weeks ago? No, they were hands and feet and ice and skates and whatever. They were below Peoria. Peoria got on that ice 2 weeks ago and they absolutely did everything better than Huntsville. They did. And I know that. And I know that right now, if you're looking at the SPHL, you're thinking this is a path for Huntsville and Peoria to play each other in the President's Cup. I get it. Just like I knew at some point in time, it was Auburn and Florida were going to have to play each other, most likely, whether it was in the Final Four, Elite Eight, National Championship, depending on where they were seated. And I also knew that there was only one team that Auburn faced all season long that I saw on the court with them and went, yeah, you know what? That team's actually better. That team is actually better. And it pissed me off that they were better. Okay, it did. And I thought, you know what? They're hot right now. They are hot right now. This is not going to be the case. Everybody gets hot at different points in time throughout a season. And this is when they are hot. And they have never slowed down. Like, they have never slowed down. I know he picks Houston. No. Like, I know that Auburn lost to the national champs last night. I know they did.
Wow.
And so that's where it angers me, just like it angered me with UAH. I know that when they lost to Nova first game of the season, in the last game of the season, they lost to the national champs.
You even think that if Auburn faced off against Duke, if it was a totally different reality, Auburn would win that.
Auburn would beat Duke and Houston. It's Florida.
Wow.
It is Florida.
You think it is Florida?
Yes, it is Florida. I mean, they're the best team in the country, and it pisses me off. Because this Auburn team should be playing in the national championship. They should have been. And if it was against Florida, then so be it if they lost the national championship. But the thing is, getting the banner raised in 2019 for being in the Final Four was awesome because it was the first time that team had ever been there. And you know what? Even with Chuma Ikiki being injured, that team making the Final Four was almost like, oh my heavens, they actually did that because no Auburn team had done it. This team, it wasn't about the Final Four. Getting to the Final Four was a step. It wasn't the step. Tonight's game was the step. That is the game that Auburn should be playing in, and they didn't because they lost to who I think is going to win the national championship.
Well, Joe, most fan bases could also say the same thing, maybe with a little less merit because, their Purdue team wasn't as good as said Auburn team that you're boasting about, but regardless, I do want to look at the path to where we are now, and I want to get your opinion on who had, more of that test, that battle-ready ability to get to where they are now. Because both of these teams, we could say it, they've gone through some up and down matchups throughout this March Madness. But for Houston, it took a lot of tough games where you had to come back in the last few moments. Played against SIU at the beginning. Obviously, that was a blowout, 78-40. Then Gonzaga, where you had to come back late in this one, win 81-76. Purdue, yet another comeback victory, 62-60. Tennessee and Duke. And I'm going to be honest with you, Tennessee didn't really stand a chance.
No.
Duke, on the other hand, did.
See, and that's where, like, I have the same emotion towards this Auburn team this year as probably what I did have with Tennessee last year, because that Tennessee team was good enough to be playing in the national championship game. They just had to go up against Purdue, and they faced a Zach Edey that was just so dominant down low that it was hard to beat. I mean, honestly, obviously you didn't beat them, but you make it to the Elite Eight and you lost that game. That's look, it isn't a seeding issue. This isn't something where I'm sitting here like, oh, they seeded them wrong. I'm sorry. 4 number ones against each other. I can't really sit here. Oh, they did this. I can't blame the ball off the butt. Can't blame that. Because right after that, again, I had a shooter over there shooting a 3-pointer that forgot that you can't jump up, land back on your feet, and then try to shoot. Like, that is a double dribble. We know what double dribble is if you're an Auburn fan, because we saw it 5 or 6 years ago.
Pretty sure it was an up-down, Joe, but he also then proceeded to dribble because he thought maybe he didn't get off the ground fully. But
and he thought like, okay, well, maybe if I do this and I still act like I'm dribbling, I'm going to be able to get away.
Not with all these damn replays, Joe. There ain't no way about that. For Florida, their path started with Norfolk State, 95-69, not too competitive. Then they go right into that UConn matchup, which was extremely tough. Of course, this is going up against the previous national champions. And for them to just make this tournament for the third year in a row to be favored in some ways at the beginning of the season is already tough enough, because there is a long list of national champions that did not follow up with a tournament appearance. But 77-75 against UConn. And then you had Maryland, which was a tough one as well. That Maryland team was very gritty. Of course, had some fun matchups against that Michigan State team. And then Texas Tech, who nobody was thinking Texas Tech would be able to challenge a Florida team, but they did just that. It took a final 5 minutes to come back in this one, final 2 minutes, I believe, to come back in this one. Win against Texas Tech, 84-79. And then Auburn last night didn't start out strong, came back in the second, felt like everything was going right for them, but they had to put on a little extra to solidify that win. But I want to know from your perspective, Joe, as well as the listeners' perspective at 256-576-9777, who is more battle-tested? Who had the tougher path to the finale? And that's what I want to know when we come back, because we've got this game on the calendar for tonight.
You're really forcing me to talk about a game that I don't want to talk about.
What else am I going to talk about?
Really,
the first week of the MLB?
I know, I'm not talking about. You're really.
How about NASCAR, Joe? I'll get into the NASCAR talk.
Right now, I'll double your NASCAR time if you talk about that over talking about this national. Look, man, this is how angry I am about this stuff.
Joe, we need you to have a clear mind. All right, I'm upset. Alabama lost. They looked like the best teams at times.
At times, yes,
but for some other games, they did not look like the same team. I'm upset about it. But you know what, Joe? We're doing a job, all right?
Yes, I'm voicing my opinion because you know what? I know that there are other people right now that are listening to this that woke up this morning saying the same thing. Basketball is dumb. That is what they thought it this morning, okay?
Well, yeah, now, you got a lot of fans on your side, Joe.
Yeah, they're not going to think about this like this in October, and you're going to have 6 or 7 months to kind of chill out with this before you actually start going, basketball ain't so dumb. It's kind of fun,
Nobody's watched the NBA, though.
Exactly. You're going to start thinking like that. So it is one of those like, all right, cool. But right now, basketball is dumb. Okay. And right now, I do not care which one of these teams win tonight at all.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're an Auburn fan or a fan of basketball or somebody that just thinks basketball is dumb. The phone lines are wide open to you. You could either hop in on Joe's side, hop in on my side. I mean, I'm still excited for this game, regardless of neither of these being my team. I want the SEC to win. And if not, Houston's going to get their first win ever on the national title list. So that's going to be huge as well. History is going to be made tonight. History was also made last night. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get back here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester and WZZN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Florida, a 1-point favorite over Houston in the NCAA tournament title game tonight at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. The total 141.5. Will the game go to overtime? No, the heavy favorite minus 3,500. Yes, the underdog at 9-1. Scotty Scheffler 4-1 with the Masters this week at Augusta National. Rory McIlroy plus 650. John Rahm 14-1. Danny Hamlin won the Goodyear 400 at Darlington yesterday. This week, the Cup Series headed to Bristol for the Food City 500. Kyle Larson is a 4-1 favorite to win the NASCAR Cup Series title, headed to Bristol this week. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A chilly and quiet night expected for this Monday night. Mostly clear sky to be expected. Low temperatures going to be falling into the upper 30s heading into Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast. High temperatures reaching the upper 50s once again. It could get breezy at times. It looks like rain doesn't return back to the forecast until Thursday. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Can't get a ticket? Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Trying to chase it down is Robbie Fisher. Kick it over, shot on, rolls it in. Buster Larson gives the Havoc a 1-goal lead.
With the Havoc Zone, only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Hello and welcome back in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. Almost done with the first hour, but we still got a whole other hour for you to get your calls in, get your comments on.
Slowest day of the week.
It does. It feels like that.
No, I mean, it is. And we've got nothing going on today as far as the radio station is concerned outside of the national championship game. I mean, that's happening.
Nothing going on, huh?
No,
You're just going to continue on.
No, this I'm meaning as in actually the bodies in this building of what we're doing.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Tomorrow I have a UAH baseball game against UT Southern, and we have the Havoc Hour. Wednesday we have the Havoc game 1 of their series with Evansville, and that's going to be at the Iceplex. Thursday, I'm sure there's something that I can't think about right now.
Yep.
And then Friday, we have baseball, we have hockey, and Saturday, the exact same thing as is Sunday with softball. It's just same thing on Saturday. See, so this is literally like the lightest day of the week.
Yeah, it feels
This
like
is
it. Definitely does feel like it. And I'm going to enjoy it as I can. But we're also going to enjoy it with you guys. And we'll head to the phone lines right now because we got Harry on with us. Harry, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Joe, first of all, Joe, take a deep breath and turn the page. We're in the SEC baseball season now.
Right.
And Auburn swept Alabama at home at Auburn over the weekend.
See,
Joe, so there's sunshine. It's a shiny day on an overcast day.
That's
So
right.
take a deep breath and listen to what I've got to say.
Thank you.
Southeastern Conference baseball is the best baseball in the country. Now back to the finals tonight.
You had me, and then you lost me.
Great 4 teams in the Final Four.
No doubt.
Houston grounded out throughout the entire year. I mean, every time SportsCenter was on, there was a highlight film of Houston grinding it out late in the game to win the game.
No doubt.
In my trifecta on Friday, I picked Auburn to win and Houston to defeat Duke. It was old age and treachery against youth and skill, and the old age grounded out and took it to them. As far as the championship game tonight, I'm all in on the SEC. We had 14 teams in there. If an SEC team doesn't win tonight, we're going to get a lot of crap over the airwaves about the SEC was overrated. They had 14 teams. Only one of them made it to the Final Four. So it's all or nothing for Florida as far as I'm concerned. And to beat Houston, they're going to have to play physical and run that ball for 40 minutes to win that game, because Houston is the team of destiny this year. But Clayton for Florida has been lighting it up. He's going to be an all-tournament player, and he's played well. But I'm all in on the SEC. But, Joe, take a deep breath and turn the page. We swept Bama over the weekend at home at Auburn, and we got a best team. We're going to have a record number of teams, just like we did in basketball, going forward in the College World Series.
That's true.
Guys, I'll go off the air now and let y'all talk. Have a great day.
Appreciate you, Harry. Good stuff. Calming Joe down just a little bit. That is true. You do have baseball. That's the one thing you can look forward to. And whenever we do turn that page away from the basketball, you're going to be able to listen to every single Alabama Homestead, actually Alabama SEC matchup here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as Braves baseball. And we got some other baseball games that are going to be playing. They did win one, and it was 10-0.
Yeah,
they almost made up for all of the losses, even though they lost right afterwards. 4-0.
They lost Saturday as well, but they can't lose on Sunday when you get rained out. You do that.
True.
So if we want to look at the positives, Braves actually won a game, so there's a positive for me. Okay.
For Auburn fans, you're probably pretty happy, like Harry.
Auburn swept Alabama in baseball.
I'm not too happy about it, but it's fine.
I'm okay with that.
I'll live.
And just because I'm going to continue down this path, my brand new Japanese team just swept the Yomiuri Giants.
And also, you've probably been continuing watching that anime of yours.
Actually, you know what? That was probably the best part of my weekend. Was an anime show about high school kids.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia if you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250 plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves getting the win column, split a 2-game series with the Marlins. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Get clean car happy all season long at Tidal Wave with exclusive membership discounts, giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for more information.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes it rains. All three of those things happened to the Braves over the weekend. Big 10-0 win over the Marlins on Friday. They get shut out by the Marlins 4-0 on Saturday, with Sunday's game being washed out. It'll be made up August 9th at 1:15 as part of a split doubleheader with the Miami Marlins. But that Friday night game, we got to see what all of us have been hoping to see for a very long time. Marcell Ozuna goes deep. Matt Olson goes deep. They hit with runners in scoring position. All is right in the world until it wasn't on Saturday. But we'll look to get on the winning track on Tuesday against those fighting Phils. First pitch, 7:15 Eastern time from Truist Park. Braves Radio Network coverage starts at 6 p.m. with the Ford Leadoff Show. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere, at any time with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are thoughts from baseball head coach Rob Vaughn following Alabama's doubleheader split on Saturday at Auburn.
Yeah, man, it's a long day, and I've said that from the rip, man. These guys fight, and their toughness and their competitiveness and all those things is as good as it gets, man. They were outstanding. I thought our bullpen was incredible today. Braylon Myers was absolutely outstanding. Everybody coming out of that pen was great. Finn did a great job. Banksy did a great job. I mean, great job out of the pen. I think the reality is, when you go, we talk about kind of getting to neutral, right? Just going to the facts, and you're the facts. And when you go on the road against, a top 15 team in the country, and, yesterday we were in the bullpen in the second, and today we were in the bullpen in the first. Like, it's just not a recipe for success.
I'll have more in a moment.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach, presented by Alpha Insurance, live at 6 p.m. Central at Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. Hey Coach is available to listen to across our radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as a video stream on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
Florida, a 1-point favorite over Houston in the NCAA tournament title game tonight at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. The total 141.5. Will the game go to overtime? No, the heavy favorite minus 3,500. Yes, the underdog at 9-1. Scotty Scheffler 4-1 with the Masters this week at Augusta National. Rory McIlroy plus 650. John Rahm 14-1. Danny Hamlin won the Goodyear 400 at Darlington yesterday. This week, the Cup Series headed to Bristol for the Food City 500. Kyle Larson is a 4-1 favorite to win the NASCAR Cup Series title, headed to Bristol this week. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. Clouds are going to gradually decrease throughout the day. It looks like we'll see a little bit of sunshine before the sun sets for this Monday. High temperature is going to be warming into the upper 50s. It could get breezy at times. Heading into Monday night, expect to sit under a mostly clear sky. Low temperatures falling into the upper 30s for the overnight. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunt, John Abraham with the Blitz on this Monday morning, where some people are recapping the Final Four.
Trying to, at least.
Not going to do it.
With my buddy, you know.
No.
Talk some little basketball, you know.
No, if you want to talk the Alex Ovechkin thing, I'm
Oh,
for
okay.
it, but-
I mean, I can definitely do that.
But no, the Final Four. Yeah, no, basketball is dumb. I'm actually genuinely curious. Are there, because I know that Harry was talking a second ago about, obviously all the positive things that happened with Auburn and all that. Are there other Auburn fans that are cheering for Florida tonight? Like, I'm genuinely curious now.
Well, some people just love basketball to the point where they're going to keep watching it all the way up to the end, regardless of their team being out. And even though it is upsetting to have your team lose in the second to last matchup, in the way that they did, I still feel like there's people that are excited to see what's going to happen tonight.
Well, no, I mean,
again, two of the best teams. Look, it was four of the best teams. Now it's two of the best teams. Do I think that we could have mixed and matched and put some other teams in here and it'd still be two of the best teams facing off tonight? Yes. But this is what we got, and I cannot complain because the way that they were able to finish off their games last night or 2 nights ago made it evident that they have gone through probably the roughest of schedules, the most battle-tested schedules in the last month that have gotten them prepared for this point. Because Duke's never trailed the way that they, have trailed. I mean, they never have trailed, it seems like, in this entire March Madness. For Auburn, it was up and down. There were most of the games, though, they were able to handle pretty handily, all right? For Florida, though, it wasn't that way. Florida had to come back in multiple matchups. I think this is exactly what we needed to have happen, to where we have two of the teams that have gone through the most up and down, and now they get to finish it off after winning against two of, again, some of the best teams in college basketball. I was surprised that Duke lost. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not expect it. And I actually was about to go to bed before that game came to an end, and I was going to make the post, Joe. And I knew this wouldn't be a good thing for me to do.
Yeah.
I was going to make the post and just go to bed and just have it scheduled for right after the basketball game ending.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be Florida versus Duke.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
It would have been an ESPN moment.
That definitely would have been bad. Yeah. No, I see. That's the reason why I asked that question, because like for me and as I am a very emotional person. I think it's pretty obvious if you've ever listened to the show. I'm an extremely emotional guy. That, with something like this, that I have the ability to be like, all right, I'm done with you. That's just how it was. My bracket is done.
You got to switch.
Yeah, my bracket is done. I have defeated my wife in our personal bracket challenge between the two of us.
You feel like a bigger man because of that?
Yes, first time in like 5 years. So, darn right I do at this point in time. The 1 year we don't make any sort of wagers, the 1 year that I win. I had to be pregnant and stuff. So, I'm done. I'm done with it. I am. I'm good. I'm done with you. You have the Final Four has hurt me.
Okay.
And I am done with you.
All right.
At least for 6 to 7 months.
Well, you know what, Joe? If you were above the clouds and you were crying the way you are now, you probably need a Fleming Roofing and Restoration atop your head.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially with all the storms that came through over the Saturday night into Sunday.
Yeah, and those are the guys that present this show. They're the wonderful guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. And if you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. 256-576. 97.7 is a way to get on the show. But if you don't like talking, you don't want to strain your mouth muscles or whatever, you can also just go over to our chat box over on WZZN TV. Comment with us over there as well. We'll be reading those throughout the entirety of the show. But, Joe, the emotions carried over to the NHL side of things. And although Washington didn't win last night against my Islanders, they still made history with Alex Ovechkin. Here's what it sounded like last night.
Try to force it to him if he's open. Here's Ovechkin.
And that was in New York. Yeah, because all the tickets were purchased by Washington fans.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
Alex Ovechkin, 895 goals in the same amount of time that Wayne Gretzky played his entire career.
No, and I know people are automatically wanting to be like, oh, well, Wayne Gretzky still did this, and this. Look, I'm only focused on the one record.
No.
The one record. And the only thing about it is, and the reason why I absolutely love that play was that it wasn't a cheapie. Like it definitely was not cheap. Like I look at like Mark McGuire's home run. Okay. Like we remember when Mark McGuire hit 62.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of the steroids and everything else. We remember when he hit 62 and how it barely was just a wall scraper. Like that thing, I mean, it barely went over the wall. Like we all thought it was going to hit the top of it. All right, we were expecting some majestic home run that went into the very top of Busch Stadium. Like, that's what we were wanting. Now, the wall scraper thing was kind of cool just because it was so different from everything else. And then you start looking at other records and how they were broken and all those sort of things. Like, for me, the most depressing thing that I ever saw in baseball history, and I know there's a lot of depressing things that you could probably make on this list, but it was the simple fact that King Griffey Jr. hit his 600th home run in Miami, what is now Hard Rock Stadium, in front of like 5,000 people. Like that was just depressing.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact that this wasn't an Ovechkin tip in off of like his skate or a stick or something, like it was like a rebound that he didn't even know he was absolutely going to accidentally get his stick on and redirect it. Or if it wasn't like one that, where he shot it and it bounced off the skate of the defender in front of the goalie and went back in. Like, this was not a cheapie.
Well, I mean, it was a 5-on-4. You could throw that out there.
It was a power play.
And he just slung it in there.
He did from behind the circle.
No, it was legit.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It was completely legit.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of like Steph Curry pulling back at the timeline and draining a 3 for a record. Like it wasn't like it was a cheap one.
Yeah, and it was the only goal for Washington that night. So even a cheap one would have helped them out, but it doesn't really matter because they are first in their league or their conference. So it doesn't
I mean,
matter.
it was amazing. Like I absolutely loved it. Like a lot of things in life, whenever you do talk about the championship one, like the one that broke a record, you look at it and you want it to be amazing. Like everybody wants that Cal Ripken Jr. moment, where they literally stop a game for you to celebrate. The Capitals all jumping over the boards and going and doing a a dog pile right in the middle of the visiting ice.
I thought we were going to get a crowd storm right there.
Like it was amazing.
Just imagine, though, if that actually happened, everybody was slipping and sliding down the ice as they were coming onto the ice just to, like, congratulate.
No, it was Washington fans, not Islander fans. I mean, come on. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, but
Islander
you just said
they
Washington fans, no, the Islander fans knew something about it. All right.
No, it was, do you know how much those tickets were? Like, just to
Yeah.
get into the arena was over $1,000 for it.
So,
and I'm not comparing, Alex Ovechkin's career to Wayne Gretzky's career, anything like that. I'm actually looking at it as a way of, like, how old is Alex Ovechkin?
He is sitting at a ripe 39 years old.
Okay. The fact that he is still playing at the NHL level at 39 and being able to score the way that he is, like, that's the other part. It's also not like he's having, like, these down seasons.
No.
Like, the man is still playing at a level that is absolutely astounding.
He sits consistent almost every single year.
This isn't Babe Ruth having to get a pinch runner whenever he tags first base to finish the home run trot for him. Like, it's not that. Like, they're not putting him on a line just to be like, all right, well, he's Alex Ovechkin. Like, let's let him go out there. It's like it's the old man awards. Like, have fun. Dude is still playing at a high level.
Yeah.
At 39. And he looks every bit of 30. Actually, he looks every bit of 59.
Yeah, he does look a lot older.
He really, really does.
We already understand this, Joe. It's not.
Ooh, God, I mean, he must have kids because that's the only way gray hair comes in that fast. Trust me, I know. And so it is. I'm looking and I'm thinking, everything about this is exactly what you wanted to see from it.
Mm-hmm.
It is exactly what you want. It's just like, again, as much as I know I'm not going to watch the game tonight, for people that are, I want it to be close in the final 30 seconds where you're literally going shot for shot, second for second, everybody's standing on their feet. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And I give it to him.
He adds on to his historical season, as that's not just like the first all-time career thing that he's done. He's also he's got 329 power play goals. He's got 136 game-winning goals. I mean, the amount of stuff that he has done across his career has been absolutely insane. And to think that he started it back in 2005 when he was just 20 years old, it's got to be the craziest part about it. But let's hop to the phone lines because we got Ryan on with us. Ryan, how you doing today, man?
Ryan.
Hey, I just wanted to redirect temporarily, guys, back to Alabama, Auburn basketball. Are you okay about that?
Yeah,
go
absolutely.
for it, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, so at work, I'll keep this short, but at work, there's a lot of, professional camaraderie, ribbing, friends between friends, but, we still support our side and want to get a little energetic about it. But some other people are saying that, like, Auburn ended, the season in a way that was a lot better than Alabama in the aggregate. And I sort of want to disagree with that and just wanted to say, because over what you all thought, because over the last 2 years, Auburn finished Final Four this year, got knocked out of the first round last year by Yale. Alabama Final Four last year, Alabama Elite Eight this year. So if you compare the two in the aggregate, wouldn't you say that Alabama's on a better trajectory?
I'd keep it close. I would say that both teams have definitely been pretty exciting. I think if Auburn was able to win that first round matchup last year, it would have been a totally different March Madness altogether. But again, this is the stuff that happens in the first round. You're going to find yourself.
I also
losing
don't think that anybody should be saying that Auburn's season was, when you're talking to compare the two on that, like, you both lost in the NCAA tournament. Auburn just got one game further, and they still, it's one of which where I'm like, I know that even like Bruce Pearl yesterday was like, this Auburn team had a historic season and, never going to forget all those things. Yeah, that's great. And when the banner goes up, it's going to be cool to have that banner there. But at the same time, you still didn't accomplish the final goal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, like, I'm not sitting and wanting to compare the two seasons and the two sides and everything like that.
Who lost
because,
better?
Well, yeah, it's exactly who lost better. And the same thing goes for Alabama that we're saying about Auburn. Auburn was, and Janai Broome wasn't 100% of that game. And I give him all the credit because of how big of a dog that the man was. But look at how Grant Nelson was. Like, Alabama didn't want to have to play him in one of their games. Was it BYU? Yeah, they didn't want to have to play him in there. And yet he's the one that looked at the coach and said, all right, put me in. We're not losing like this. Like, dude, like that was amazing to see like that. So like you both had to go through this tournament with arguably one of your best players injured and having to try to play through it just to get you to where you did.
Yeah. So I haven't been tracking that close, obviously, because the season just ended. But what is the sort of the roster and the outlook looking like for both teams next year? Or is it just like way too early for that right
Well,
now?
it's way too early because so many guys can transfer and so many guys can leave. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like in all reality, like every single college basketball team could have a Kentucky-like moment where at the end of the season, once everybody makes their decisions, you're only having like 3 or 4 guys that are coming back because they're not going to get more money in the transfer portal, and you're going to see it. Like that's the part about with Houston. I know that Houston's a Big 12 team, and I know that, they've talked about at periods of time a lot how, these guys could have went elsewhere and got more money and all this other stuff, and they stayed at Houston. It doesn't mean that they're not going to do that this year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this is way too early to see what the season is going to be like, because one coach leaving or one coach staying could totally change the way that 3 or 4 players are moving along. So it's way too early to see what that roster is going to be, unless you want like, hey, this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's definitely like that for Auburn. For Alabama, it's a little bit different just because they've had some more days to go by to get those players that have announced that they will return. The for sures that are already locked in, Aiden Sherrill, Aiden Holloway, Latrell Reitzel, and Houston Millette are just a few of those guys.
Yeah, interesting. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Good stuff, Ryan. But yeah, no, I mean, for Auburn, obviously you're going to lose some of the big names. Chaney Johnson's going to be out of there. Obviously, Janai Broom. Those are 2 of the guys that have really helped build this team up to where it is. And for the trajectory of both of these squads, obviously Alabama's been having a lot of success as of late, but I feel like not just Auburn, but a majority of the SEC is just maybe a little bit behind, where it's like, now Florida is that team that is on the rise. And Florida's been a consistent March Madness contender, but again, winning those championships, you got to go all the way back to 2006, 2007. And obviously for Alabama, it just has yet to happen. But the SEC is, I feel like, all kind of just going off of each other. And that's what's made this conference so strong. Now, is that going to lead to a championship? Maybe not this year. Maybe not next year. We'd hope to see it this year just because of the 14 teams that have gone in. But again, you're playing up against other schools. You're also going to be playing against your own conference. You're going to take away your own guys, as well as playing against a team like Duke, playing against a team like Houston. There are those teams that are already a majority of steps ahead. Houston, of course, has been absolutely lights out in the last 5 years, I would say. One of the more consistent teams being at that number 1 seed. Obviously not getting the job fully done, but being up there. And for Duke, I mean, this is freaking Duke we're talking about. And you can't say that Michigan State's not a capable team of beating any SEC squad, because it's Michigan State. They're on the fence about being a blue blood. You got the UCLAs, of course. You got the Kansas. These teams are always going to be able to compete. Even the UConns, that although they didn't win in the men's, they went on and won in the women's. Shout out to that women's team that won against South Carolina. That was not even a game to me because it was such a lopsided affair. But I feel like when it comes to the SEC, there's never really somebody that is leaps and bounds ahead. At one point, it was Kentucky. That's not the case anymore, especially in 2025. I feel like the Steel is strengthening the Steel, and I feel like any team could be the next Florida, could be the next Kentucky.
Florida's not even the next Florida.
It's.
I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like.
But they have a national championship appearance.
For the majority of the season, Florida was the 3rd or 4th best team in the conference.
They weren't even looked at to be one of the better
honestly,
teams.
like it was. I think that, again, the first time we'll ask Adam Dubbin about this, when we start talking about that Florida Auburn matchup back at the beginning of February, it was more about a question of, look, do people realize just how good this Florida team has been playing recently, and why is that the case? That was a lot of that conversation back then with him. And now as the season has gone along, like a lot more people have been paying attention to Florida, and they've been moving up in it, because this is very similar to now what we're talking about with college football, where, even if you are the you could be top 25 in the country, but you could still be 4 or 5 in just the SEC. We talk about it in college baseball. We obviously talk about it in college football. And even when it comes to recruiting, it's like, oh, look, Vanderbilt had a top 30 class. They were still last in the SEC. Think about that, because there are 16 teams in the SEC in your top 30. So that means that over every single one of your schools make up half of that top 30. Like, it's just different in the SEC.
Yeah, gotta hit a break. When we come back, Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire going to join us, talk a little bit more about this Florida team as they get into the national championship against the Houston Cougars tonight. And you're going to be able to listen to it here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Don't go anywhere, because we got more to come here on the Blitz on WZZN TV.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I'm at Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website, and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are home for a total of 15 games in the month of April. Promotions include 4 fireworks shows, 2 bobblehead giveaways, 1 cat night, and even an appearance from Bluey to round out the month on April 27th. To get your tickets and learn more about everything going on at Toyota Field, check out TrashPandasBaseball.com.
No sleep till!
This song is like, it's more relevant than ever, I would say, with the way that some of these games have gone, going as late as like 10:30, 11, and I know I sound like an old man, but I mean that's kind of what we got to be in this industry, Joe.
Yeah, I mean tip-off is going to be late tonight. I mean, so get ready for it. You'll be able to listen to it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Tip-off scheduled for 7:50 p.m. in San Antonio.
And one of the things that we were touching on today has been just the paths that both Florida and Houston have had to take to get to this point. It's surprising. We didn't think we'd have to be talking about this Duke team, and I don't know if that's the same case for Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire, but he joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. Adam, was this the matchup you thought whenever, Florida was able to push forward, that they would face off against Houston instead of this Blue Devils team that looked inevitable at sometimes? My bad. Gotcha, Adam.
Hey guys, no sleep till to San Antonio.
Yes,
so
sir.
this is certainly the matchup that was most favorable coming into the Final Four. You know what we would like to see between them and Duke. But to be honest with you, like this is another number one seed. They've won 17, 18 in a row. They've got their Big 12 championship belt under their belt. They ain't nothing to F with,
No, they're not.
So it's not what I had expected. It's not really what I had hoped, but it's where the die have landed, and that's what we're going to go with.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I mean, obviously, you're probably a little happy you don't have to face off against Cooper Flagg and Knipple and the rest of that squad that just seems like the NBA is the next stop for them. But I mean, for Houston to win against that Duke team, already surprising enough, especially in the last few moments of that game. I mean, these are it's the total opposite. I mean, these aren't freshmen. These are grown men that are going to be facing off against this Florida team. Talk a little bit about this Houston roster that you've been able to study throughout the weeks.
Yeah, so I mean, just looking back at that Duke game, what an incredible matchup! What a great finish. What you saw in those final, several minutes when they just shut Duke completely down is what they were known for throughout the season. And that's just their absolutely tenacious defense. And when they lock down, and even, like you said, you've got these future NBA players playing against these grown men who just, shut things down on them. And it's a sight to behold. But, outside of the defense, they aren't too shabby on offense either. They led the nation during the regular season of three-point shooting. So, you've got Cryer and Sharp, who's going to be, lobbing them from outside. You've really got to be aware of. And they also have, a formidable front court that will match up well with Florida's front court. And it should be an absolute bruiser down in the paint.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I talked about this, looking at Duke and the way that they've been able to play throughout this March Madness. It's been pretty assertive. They've been able to win their games quite handily. But again, falling to a team like Houston that also had their struggles throughout all of March Madness. At times we thought that, maybe Gonzaga would be the next team or Purdue would be the team to beat them. And it just kept going forward. But it wasn't that different for Florida. Florida had to come back in some of these matchups. Talk about the battle-tested mentality that both of these teams have and what has helped them with that to get them to this point.
Yeah, I think, the idea that being cast in the battle and strengthened by the forge of competitive competition goes to say a lot. With Florida, UConn was tough. Texas Tech was tough, and Auburn was tough, right? But they found ways to win simply because they had felt this adversity before. Going back to the Georgia loss, the last time that Florida lost. They came back from 26 points and took the lead in the final minute, only to fall. But I'm absolutely certain that they learned a lot from that experience and a lot out of how to clinch these games. And I feel like Houston has done the same thing. And you've got to, tip your cap to the coaching staff over at Houston. They've got, just an incredible group, led by, basically a future Hall of Famer. So, these guys know what they're doing. They're master chess players. And, both Todd Golden, who is sort of the up and coming class, and Kelvin Sampson, who is basically handing the torch to Golden in this game.
Yeah, that is definitely another storyline that we could look at. It's the veteran versus the youth, and that's something that I talked about at the beginning. At one point, whenever obviously Sampson was coming into his college career, I believe at Washington State back in the 80s. I mean, it was around the time whenever Todd Golden, he was still in diapers. I mean, he is a young coach. But, I mean, he's been able to get to this level and get his team ready for this type of play in just a matter of years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to his ability to use the current environment and all the new tools that are available to the coaches and the scouting whether it be, using Synergy Sports for his video analysis, which he's mentioned a lot, and I work over there too, so I don't mind giving him a little plug. But as well as, he's mastered the transfer portal. 4 to 5 starters are transfers. And, this really from top to bottom, this roster is filled with major transfer portal acquisitions who have come together like Voltron, and assembled into one large being that is able to go out and win games.
I would use the word amalgamation. That's what I would use.
Wow, it's a
$5
word.
It's a good word. That's a good word.
It's just a combination of all these kids from all over the place to have this team going hot.
That will get you a lot of points in Scrabble, man.
Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire is our guest. Joe, what you got for him?
Guess I need to actually ask the thing that I'm focused on, which is the fact that Florida came back and beat Auburn in the second half. So help me out here. What in heaven's name happened in the second half? I know that obviously this Florida team came out and they were down by like 9 at the half. What happened?
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of surprised that they were able to pull it off, because one of the litmus tests I use whether or not the Gators going to win or not is making free throws down the stretch. And Thomas Haw missed a few, and that had me kind of white knuckled. But really, I think it was Auburn had kind of figured out how to stop Florida's basically the motion handoff offense that they run at the top. Basically the top center and just off to the left and right of the top of the court, and they figured out how to get around those screens that the handoff guy was creating and trap the other player on the other side of the screen. They were just basically forcing Florida out of their game, and so Florida just came out and made some adjustments to how they were running things, a few more pick and rolls instead, but just basically Todd Golden figured out how to start scoring again. And, a lot of that falls on the shoulders of, Walter Clayton, who's just otherworldly, right? I mean, this man is out on a mission. And, when you've got a guy who can just drain buckets, off the dribble from 24, 25, 26 feet out like him, all you got to do is find a way to get him open. And then the rest takes care of itself. So really, it was just, I would say the other part was they figured out how to stop Johnny Broom. And while Condon only scored 1 point in that game, he still managed to step up in that second half and throw, there's All-American down well enough to, prevail in the end.
Yeah, and then we look over at the challenge with Houston, and if there's any team that Florida has faced off against that kind of relates to it, whenever you see this Houston squad, do you think of an SEC team, or is this a strictly Big 12 type of team that Florida is just unfamiliar with?
I mean, not really, because the SEC from top to bottom really was fairly offensively minded. If you look at most of the teams, even down with South Carolina, I mean, these teams were usually scoring more than less. Whereas, with Houston itself, I wouldn't even call them a microcosm of the Big 12, because they had the nation's leading defense, but they're also a top 10 offense. So, I don't know that Florida really faced anything like them defensively. I mean, I truly feel like going into this game, this is, an unstoppable force, meeting an unmovable object with Florida and Houston respectively. And, I don't recall seeing anybody, whether it was in our conference or non-conference schedule, with as much beef on D as these Cougars have.
Adam Dubbin from Gators Wire is our guest, talking all things Florida Gators as we get closer and closer to tonight's tip-off. And there's one guy on this Houston team that kind of sticks out more than the others, and that's LJ Cryer. How do you defend against this guy? I mean, he's a little bit smaller, but he's just as good, if not better, than anybody else in his position across college basketball.
So this is the kind of situation where we have seen other players like this in the SEC, whether it's Sears with Alabama. We've seen these with several teams who have these guards who can just absolutely ball.
Yeah.
And usually the the answer for Florida isn't necessarily stopping them, just slowing them down enough and not giving them options outside of themselves. So basically, if they're going to score, they got to do it on their own, and they're not going to get much help from their teammates. So it's not necessarily locking down, double teaming these guys, but more just taking away the lanes, forcing them to take their shots from outside of 10 feet, and preferably inside of, the 3-point arc. Force them to take low percentage shots. And usually, when you play a numbers game like that, it's going to shake out for you.
And I look at this matchup and I see the line favoring Florida. It's just at 1.5. Honestly, I could say it might be a coin flip because we also look at the ESPN analytics. And right now, Houston is being projected as they have a 65% chance of winning this matchup. But tell us what Florida has done all season long and what they're going to be able to do against Houston, maybe take advantage of that could possibly get them the win tonight.
Florida's ability to make adjustments, I think, will be the biggest thing that contributes to a victory if they happen to win tonight. And alluding back to the adjustments they made, along the way in the NCAA tournament, and even back during the regular season, that is something that has really been important because you can't just lock this team down and just pin them in one corner based on a particular style that they go with. They can break it down court, or they can slow things down and look for those threes. So they can even post up, and they've got big guys down low who can post up as well and bruise in the paint. So on the point of that, those guys down low, the front court is going to be an absolute key to Florida's success. Being able to limit the second chance points to Houston, which also gives them the opportunity to start those transition opportunities. As well as, stopping their front court as well, which is, pretty strong too. The other thing is, and I've mentioned this before when I've talked about the Gators critically, is that, our perimeter defense, as far as like preventing 3-pointers, has been something of an Achilles heel for us all season. Less than it was earlier. But, when you think back to the Texas Tech game, when they made 6 of their first 7 threes and it seemingly broke our backs, you can see that you can throw us out of our Goldilocks zone if you can start draining those from outside. And when you talk about Houston being the top percentage shooting team from downtown, there's a good opportunity for them to take advantage of that.
Yeah, believe it or not, Texas Tech was the only team. It was the last team in the last few months of this basketball season for Houston that they lost to, and that was a very close matchup in Big 12 play, 82-81. And ever since then, Houston has been on a path to win every single game moving forward, even against Texas Tech before going into the tournament. But there's some questions out there right now, Adam, and it's around the SEC. Obviously, getting 14 teams in is absolutely amazing, but I don't know if this could truly go down as a great, an all-time great for a conference unless an SEC team actually wins the thing. Do you have those same type of opinions, or what are you thinking on that?
I absolutely concur. You got to finish the job if you want to, wear the belt. Mm-hmm. And the championship crown. You can't just go out there and half-arse it. So they have to go out and if Florida wins this, then my take really is that it definitely cements the idea that the SEC truly was a juggernaut this season. But on the other hand, if Houston happens to win it, it would be a huge feather in the cap of the Big 12, especially, standing in the shadows of the SEC and the Big 10 this season. Mm-hmm. And I would even venture to say it would bring some of the madness back to the Big Dance, despite how chalky it is, because I think a lot of people sort of saw Houston as maybe not in the same light as they saw the Alabamas and the Tennessees and the Floridas and the Dukes, right? And even the UConns. So it would earn a lot of respect for the Big 12. So both conferences have a lot at stake here too. It's interesting how big the story reaches beyond just the individual teams.
Yeah, no doubt. And I look at the beginning of Houston's season, and obviously it came with those 2 losses from SEC opponents. Then you have a loss to San Diego State. I mean, it's a rightful way to say, hey, this team is good. They can challenge these top-tier opponents, but at the same time, they're not getting it done. They might not be as powerful as they were in the past few years, but hey, look at them now getting back into the Final Four and having a chance to win their first national championship. But of course, that's something you do not want to see happen. Let us know your predictions before we get you out of here, Adam.
Yeah, so as I want to, I predict a victory for Florida. It's going to be pretty darn close, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, and I predicted a close game. I've been predicting close games, and they have come to fruition. This particular one, what we're looking at is that, we've got basically 2 teams that kind of look like teams of destiny, right? Florida has been, able to pull these off, and so have the Cougars, and they just keep winning. They're very evenly matched, despite the fact that they sort of operate differently. One is more of a defensive-minded team. The other one is more of an offensive-minded team. Not to mention the difference in experience when it comes to the head coaching. You've got more of the younger side with Todd Golden and the experienced sage advice of Calvin Sampson. You've got a lot of things at play here. So who wins? I think it's going to be the orange and blue. But it's going to be a bruiser of a game, and we're going to be on the edge of our seats the entire way. But I think Florida 75, Houston 72 when the final buzzer rings.
Adam, great stuff as always, man. Hopefully next time we talk, it'll be in the good light. I would love to talk a little bit more baseball with you, but not much to talk about right now. But that's for another conversation.
Yeah, we need at least one more win in SEC play before we start talking about that. But I heard before I came on, y'all were discussing, how stacked the SEC is, and even Florida at 1-11, it's we're still, I don't know if we're that terrible. I mean, this is just a really, really good conference. So, it's something that maybe will develop as the season rolls on.
And as we've seen plenty of times in college basketball this season, it can happen. It can turn around, but it does take a little bit of work. But Adam, we appreciate you working with us today. Let the people know where they can find all of your work online and on socials.
Yeah, you got it. So Gators Wire. That's gatorswire.usatoday.com. That's where everything is published. You can find me at my full name, Adam Dubin, ADAMDUBBIN, at either X, Twitter, or Blue Sky, the 2 places I hang out the most. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great afternoon, and go Gators tonight. But whoever wins, I mean, I think that the argument that the NIL and the transfer portal has ruined the college basketball tournament is way overblown, especially given what we've seen these last couple of rounds. And tonight will be no different.
I know we may not have a Cinderella in this story, but we do have 2 really freaking good teams. So I can't complain too much about that. Joe, on the other hand.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I am. Sorry. I'm still a little emotional, so I just figured I'm just gonna sit over here and just kind of be quiet right now because a little upset.
Auburn's a chalky team. It's not like Auburn was a Cinderella. They're part of that.
I think even on Friday, I think is when we had you on. Even I said, look, right now I would pick Florida. It doesn't mean that I was going to be happy as the game went along and I wasn't screaming throughout the house at some point in time. So yeah, no, we're good. We're good.
Adam,
it's all good.
Adam, wish you the best. Good luck tonight. Just at the end of the day, enjoy it, man.
Yep, you too. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff as always. Adam Dubin from Gators Wire is the name if you want to keep up with all things Florida Gators, even the stuff you don't want to keep up with, like their baseball team that got totally shut out throughout the weekend to Vanderbilt. It's the SEC play. It's just how it is. Joe, we'll take it to break off of that, man.
Yeah, that's fun.
When we get back, don't worry. I don't need to talk NASCAR today. I'll keep it at an all-time low.
Well, yeah, because there's only 30 seconds that you get to talk about it. I mean, and right now I'm actually looking forward to that more than I have the rest of the show, because the rest of the show you've had to force all the Florida Gator talk.
You know what? You're now battle tested, Joe. So now you'll come out of this stronger than ever.
Screw basketball.
We'll be right back here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Can't get a ticket? Never miss a second of Huntsville Havoc hockey.
Ryder fires it forward to Buster Larson. Robbie Fisher sends it across. Back to Robbie. Backhand it in. Robbie Fisher.
The Havoc Zone. Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Man, Joe, I wish we could have the question that Brandon just threw in the chat. He says, I'm awake now from my poolside nap.
Seriously.
Do I want Guy Fieri's barbecue, hot lobster roll, or, I don't know what that says, some ribs? I like all of that.
Charbroiled.
Charbroiled, okay, it's far away.
So,
depth of perception, all
So
that.
the Guy Ferrari brings that manners because I told you my wife decided that she wanted to get every one of the baby closeouts so that we could start getting ready for the baby.
Don't tell me there's a Guy Fieri shirt in there.
No, as she was going through everything, she found the pictures from that we took on our honeymoon when we went on a cruise. I think I ate Guy Fieri's twice a day while I was there because the hamburgers were so good. Now he's got barbecue. He's doing the barbecue, so I guess it's the Guy Fieri's barbecue.
Did your beard start turning white and have a little black in it, and then your hair started getting all crazy?
No, my everything
tips?
my I was just sitting there thinking to myself, so when you buy this, do you have to get one of the shirts that has the flames on it? Like what's going on?
Does he sell the shirts in his place?
No. There wasn't. It's not a place. It was now. It may be different. It's different on all the different boats. But the Guy Fieri's that we had was poolside, so you could go into the cafeteria and you could get all the cafeteria food that they had, or you could get there's a Guy Fieri's. There was also like a Mexican restaurant on the other side. And you could pick and choose one of those two. Then you get it, which obviously all the food is free.
Yeah.
And you just can then walk in and eat there. And so, we had Guy Fieri's every single day. I think I seriously had it at least twice a day, every day, unless we were on an island.
I'm so hungry.
But she found all those pictures and the seashells and all that stuff that we got from our honeymoon. We found all that yesterday as well as we were also getting out all these clothes for the baby.
Well, I didn't have anything that lives up to that name yesterday, but I did stop at McDonald's and I got myself a adult Happy Meal Minecraft.
There's an adult Happy Meal?
It's an adult Happy Meal. You can get a 10-piece chicken nugget, or you can get like a cheeseburger and some fries. It's an adult Happy Meal, Joe. It comes with a toy and everything. It's Minecraft related, and we got the Minecraft McDonald's helmet.
Was it a green box? No, which one was it?
It was the gold box.
Okay, yeah. We got my son got the green box.
Yeah,
on Friday
because of that movie that came out, the live action Minecraft movie with Jack Black and Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
and then I don't know the rest of the people.
No, that's basically all you need to know. That is literally it. Gotcha. I know that I get asked at least twice a day to buy something on Minecraft, and as my son continues to play it. I actually, over the weekend, and I appreciate my sister-in-law for doing this. She brought a PlayStation 4 to the house because when I got the PS5, I sold my PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you weren't thinking about the kids.
No, I didn't actually think that my son would be as big of a gamer as he is right now. The problem is I don't get to play my own PlayStation. So instead of buying him a PS5, he only plays Spider-Man and Minecraft. I got him a PS4, which is where they also have PS4 games and versions of Spider-Man.
They do.
And I'm going to put all of that on the PS4 when I get a controller, because I don't have a controller just yet. But I need to get a controller. And once I get the controller, I can set it up and I can get my own PlayStation back.
But this is how it should be. You don't need to be buying your, what is he, 7-year-old?
He's 6. He's going to be 7 this year.
I'll say he's going to be 7. You don't need to be buying your 7-year-old a brand new console.
No,
just give him an old, like an Xbox 360.
And this was her idea.
Keeps him
she says
offline too.
We're cleaning out. We're cleaning out your nephew's room, and we have all of these. Like, I found an old PlayStation, all that. And I'm like, yes, absolutely. I could set him up in a little corner. I've got him
Minecraft, bro.
Like he could do every bit of that, and it doesn't matter about graphics. Like with me, I'm all about graphics.
Yeah,
it's the main reason I'm playing this RoboCop game, because if we'd have gotten it in 1985 when the movie came out, or whenever the movie came out, it would not have looked anywhere remotely close as amazing as it looks today.
Plus, Minecraft's also just a bunch of blocks,
Yes.
so the graphics aren't that big of a deal.
Brandon, I've got some PS4 controllers. You're in the Caribbean.
Yeah, he can't do anything about that right now. Enjoy your time, Brandon. Very much looking forward to getting to hear what your stories are about. I'm gonna watch that Minecraft movie one of these days.
You know when I'm gonna watch it?
When?
I may go watch it tonight around 7:50.
That's a terrible idea.
That's an amazing idea. I don't have anything else to watch.
Chicken Jockey.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate